Most people think they know what intuition is. But what they call intuition is usually one of three completely different things: instinct, psychic or extrasensory perception, ESP, or actual intuition. And confusing them can completely distort how you interpret your own inner signals. Instinct is biological intelligence. Intuition is soul intelligence. Psychic or extrasensory perception, ESP, is a sensory extension. These three forms of perception are often confused with one another. People frequently mistake instinct for intuition, or psychic impressions for deep knowing. But although they can interact, they arise from very different mechanisms of perception. Understanding the difference changes how you interpret your own inner signals. Because not every inner signal is guidance. Some are simply survival responses, and others are just raw information. So, the real question is not whether you perceive something internally or not, but what layer of perception it is coming from. Instinct, biological intelligence, survival-based, reactive. Instinct is the oldest layer of perception. It emerges from a 2D, second density type of consciousness. Although numbers here don't matter because how you divide densities or dimensions would depend on how the observer sees things. What matters is that instinct belongs to the biological architecture of life itself. Instinct is body-coded intelligence designed to preserve life. It is intelligence that allowed organisms to survive long before reflection, philosophy, or self-awareness existed. Before analysis, reasoning, or meaning contemplation, organisms needed a system that could respond instantly to danger, opportunity, or survival conditions. That system is instinct. Core characteristics: originates in the nervous system, limbic brain, and gut-brain axis. Triggered by threat, safety, hunger, reproduction, territory. Operates automatically without reflection. Highly reliable in immediate physical contexts. Instinct operates through the nervous system, hormonal signals, sensory input, pattern recognition shaped by evolution. It is fast, automatic, and non-negotiable. Instincts are inborn patterns of behavior that animals, including humans, perform without needing to learn them. These behaviors are controlled by neural circuits in the brain and spinal cord. They are not opinions, beliefs, or interpretations. They are pre-programmed survival responses. How it feels: urgency, fight, flight, freeze. Sudden attraction or aversion without nuance. Strong bodily signals: tightness, heat, adrenaline. Instinct rarely speaks in calm signals. It speaks through physiological activation. The body prepares itself to move before the mind even understands why. And this is where people get confused, because instinct feels powerful. It can feel so intense that many people assume it must be intuition. But intensity is not intuition. Intensity is usually biology reacting to perceived threat. What it perceives: physical danger, social dominance or threat, environmental risk, short-term survival variables. Instinct scans the environment for signals that affect survival right now. It is not concerned with deeper meaning or hidden truths. It is scanning for immediate biological relevance. Limitation: instinct is reactive and present moment bound. It does not perceive long-range trajectories, symbolic meaning, or truth beyond survival relevance. Instinct does not care about meaning, morality, or long-term consequence. It cares about immediate survival. Instinct protects the body, not truth, not destiny, not coherence. Instinct asks, am I safe right now? Is this environment hostile or benign? Should I approach, avoid, freeze, or act? Will I survive this? Intuition: consciousness-based, pattern recognition, integrative. Intuition is often confused with instinct, but it operates through a completely different mechanism. Intuition is not a bodily reflex. It is non-linear perception of coherence across multiple informational layers. While instinct reacts to immediate stimuli, intuition perceives patterns that are forming beneath the surface of events. It does not simply react to what is happening. It recognizes how things fit together. Core characteristics: emerges from integrated consciousness, works through pattern recognition, calm, neutral, often quiet, does not require urgency or justification. Intuition does not arrive as a surge of adrenaline. It usually appears in the opposite way, a quiet clarity. It is often so calm that people overlook it because they expect guidance to feel dramatic or emotional. But intuition does not need to shout. It simply recognizes how it feels. Clear knowing, inner stillness with certainty. This is correct, without emotional charge. Recognition rather than reaction. Intuition feels less like a reaction and more like remembering something you somehow already know. There is no internal argument, just alignment. What it perceives: intent before action, incongruence between words and essence, probability paths and likely outcomes, structural truth beneath appearances. Intuition perceives structure. It senses when something fits together and when something suddenly does not, even when there's no visible evidence yet. strength. Intuition sees what is forming, not just what is happening. It operates beyond time compression. Where instinct reacts to the present moment, intuition can sense trajectory. It recognizes where a pattern is leading before the outcome fully appears. Psychic or extrasensory perception. Field-based, sensory extension, signal reception. Extrasensory perception is something different again. Psychic perception is the extension of sensory channels beyond the physical spectrum. It is not inherently intuitive or wise. It is data reception, not interpretation. Extrasensory perception does not interpret meaning. It only detects signal. In the same way that a microphone detects sound waves without understanding language, psychic perception detects information fields without automatically knowing what they mean. This is another place people get confused. Receiving more information does not automatically mean greater wisdom. A radio can receive hundreds of signals, but it still needs a mind to interpret them. Core characteristics. Operates through subtle sensory channels: visual, auditory, emotional, symbolic. Can be spontaneous or trained. Strongly influenced by emotional state and boundaries. Requires interpretation and filtering. Because it functions as a receptive channel, psychic perception is highly sensitive to the condition of the perceiver. Emotional turbulence, expectation, or fear, for example, can distort the signals being received. How it feels. Images, symbols, impressions, sudden thoughts that feel inserted. Emotional bleed-through, energetic sensations. Psychic perception rarely arrives as logical sentences. It tends to arrive as symbolic or sensory fragments that must be later interpreted. What it perceives. Emotional states of others, residual imprints, potential futures, non-local information. It expands the range of what the mind can register. But expanded data does not automatically mean accurate understanding. Psychic perception does not mean you understand reality better. It only means you receive more signals. Limitation. Psychic data is raw and uncontextualized. Without intuitive coherence, it can be misread, dramatized, or distorted. Receiving information is not the same thing as understanding it. Without intuition, psychic perception can become confusing noise instead of useful insight. One precise synthesis. Instinct is biological intelligence. It protects the body. It exists to keep the organism alive in real time. Intuition is soul intelligence. It is not tied to urgency or fear. It operates when perception is calm enough to see what is rather than what threatens. Psychic or extrasensory perception is sensory extension. It detects signals. It is the ability to register information that does not come through the five physical senses alone. When aligned, instinct grounds, psychic perception informs, intuition decides. Each layer performs a different role. Instinct anchors perception to the physical world. Extrasensory perception expands the range of information available. Intuition integrates the information and recognizes coherence. Healthy order. Intuition leads, determines truth and direction. Instinct supports, protects the body during action. ESP informs, supplies additional data. This sequence keeps perception balanced. Intuition provides orientation. Instinct maintains safety. Psychic extrasensory perception offers additional signals without dominating the system. Intuition is integrative intelligence, the mind's ability to recognize coherence across many layers of information at once. Intuition leads. It determines which signals are meaningful and which are noise. When this order is reversed, instinct becomes anxiety. Psychic perception becomes noise. Intuition goes silent. When instinct takes the lead, survival reactions start interpreting every situation as a threat. When ESP dominates without intuitive grounding, signals multiply without coherence. And when both of these overwhelm the system, the quiet clarity of intuition becomes harder to hear. Final synthesis. Instinct is like a collision avoidance sensor. Extrasensory perception, ESP/psychic perception, is like a long-range radar. Intuition is like the pilot interpreting the instruments. The radar detects signals. The collision system reacts to immediate danger. But the pilot decides what it all means and where to go. Instinct keeps you alive. ESP keeps you informed. Intuition keeps you aligned. Instinct stabilizes the body. ESP expands awareness. Intuition aligns direction. This alignment is rare, and it is the hallmark of a mature consciousness.